From the Horn Auto Center Studios, Chris Bennett and the Morning Brew.
Today, I am out of the studio, heading down to Yuma, Arizona with my best friend, producer Ryan McKee. We're performing a comedy at the Yuma Prison, and Ryan is on the phone. And Ryan, so last night, you stayed at your mom's house.
That's right. I stayed the night at my parents' house last night.
When you stay at your parents', do they still treat you like a little boy or a teenager like my parents do?
Oh, yeah. My mom just served me breakfast in bed this morning.
No way.
Yeah. She really spoils me while I'm here.
Is she going to take you out shopping for some new shoes?
I don't think there's any good shopping in Payson, but...
You also had a big show earlier this week in Wilmington. You did a roast battle where two comedians go ahead and try and write the meanest jokes about each other to see who reigns victorious. Give us a recap. How did you do?
So I went against a kid who was 20 years younger than me, and I was old enough to be his dad, which is disheartening, to say the least. And I went in there so confident. He's like a newer comic. I was like, there's no way this kid is going to have some great jokes about me, you know? And man, he came in with some haymakers. He wrote some of the best jokes about me I've ever heard. And he won. I lost. I went in too overly confident, Chris.
Do you remember any of his jokes? And what was the best one, if it's radio appropriate?
I don't think any of them are radio appropriate.
What was the gist? He just made fun of you being old?
Well, he had one, I'll say it in a radio appropriate way. This is the one that, off the top of my head, it wasn't even that funny, but I got a big reaction. He goes, Ryan looks like a shapeshifter if that shapeshifter turned into a piece of poop.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't think roasts are for me. This is your second roast. You're 0 for 2. Are you going to try roasting again in your future?
I don't think so, man. Unless, like, I don't know. I don't think battles are for me. I just don't write mean enough jokes, or I write way too mean jokes. Like, there were a couple jokes I had where people were like, ugh.
Whoa, hold on. Well, I'm sorry you lost, but you and I have a fun show tonight. When we come back, we're going to be talking about our show at the prison in Yuma coming up next. Yeah. We are back with Ryan, who just lost a roast battle to a much younger, but not more a handsome opponent. And then today, he's performing with me at a prison in Yuma. So I thought we'd play a little game called Roast or Toast. I'll read a segment. Okay. You got to tell me if it was I'll read something, and you got to tell me if that was from a roast or from a toast. You ready?
Got it. Mm-hmm.
You've always been there for me, especially when I needed someone to take the blame.
Ooh, I'm going to say toast.
No, that was a roast.
Oh.
All right, next one. I knew she was the one when he agreed to sit through 5 hours of bridal Pinterest boards without complaining.
Toast?
That is a toast. There we go. Ryan is a toast master. You're the only person I know who can make being late feel like a personality trait.
I'm going to say roast.
That is a roast. May your love be modern enough to survive the times and old-fashioned enough to last forever.
Toast.
Yep, there you go. And last one. I never thought I'd see the day he found someone who could tolerate him long enough to say, I do.
Roast?
It's a roast and a toast. Woo!
Oh, curveball.
Curveball. That was Roast or Toast with our friend, producer Ryan. All right, Ryan, you and I have two comedy shows at the prison in Yuma.
Chris and Ryan are going to prison.
Dun, dun, dun. Have you picked out your outfit yet that you're going to wear to prison?
I'm going to wear all black like Johnny Cash.
And I think I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go all colors. But is that going to be okay?
What do you mean?
Like, am I allowed to dress, like, vibrantly?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I didn't.
Of course, the more vibrant, the better. You might, I don't know, like the prisoners all have to wear the same gear, so they might appreciate you dressing like a fool.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting experience. We're excited for it. Ryan set the whole thing up. You're hosting. We have our friend Lauren Rachel, who is going to be performing on the show with us. Our friend Lamar Mitchell Jr., who's going to be performing with us. And, of course, I'm on the show as well. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's crazy that I'm doing a prison, and then the next Friday I'm officiating my daughter's wedding.
That is two very different gigs.
Yes.
That's the opposite spectrum of the gigs. I hope you don't get them mixed up.
Oh, my gosh, that would be the worst. But it made me think of a fun game we could play called Wedding Vow or Inmate Confession.
I love it.
I'm going to read a statement. You got to tell me whether that was a wedding vow or an inmate confession. Here we go. I know I made mistakes, but I promised I've changed.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to say inmate confession.
Yes, it could be either, but...
Could be either, but I don't think you want to bring up your mistakes in your wedding vow.
No, that was said during a parole hearing. Here's the next one. No matter what happens, I will always be by your side, even if we're broke or behind bars.
I think that's a wedding vow.
It's a wedding vow at a prison.
Oh, wow. That's a real curveball you got me. Okay.
All right. Next one. It started with a little lie and ended with me hiding in the garage for 3 hours.
I'm going to say that's an inmate confession.
That is an inmate confession.
That would be one of the best wedding vows if you did it.
It all started with a little lie.
People are just sitting there in the wedding party going, oh my gosh, what did we get ourselves into here?
All right, and our last one, you complete me and also know where I hide the snacks.
I mean, if that's an inmate confession, that's a horrible inmate confession, so I'm going to go wedding vow.
That is wedding vow. That was wedding vow or inmate confession.
From the Horn Auto Center Studios, Chris Bennett and the Morning Brew.
Jineane, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Jineane, I was wondering if you want to do some relationship advice.
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. My girlfriend makes over $300K a year. And she's doing good. And I make $80,000 a year. I'm still financially recovering from a recent divorce, paying off loans, legal fees, all of it. So money's tight. Meanwhile, she's always talking about investing and moving money around. But when it comes to us, I'm the one paying for everything on my credit card. She suggests restaurants, movies, concerts, but never offers to split the bill. I always pay because I want to be a gentleman, but it's getting hard. She invited me to a concert last week, then told me the day before she only bought one ticket by mistake. I had to pay $120 last minute just to go. I also spent 18 hours building a playground in her yard. No payment, fine, but not even dinner on her? Again, I paid. I don't want to sound like a gold digger, but how do I bring this up?
I think this one is, to me, is pretty easy. He can be very nice and say, hey, hon, I want to sit down. We need to have a talk. And all he needs to do is just say, hey, I've kind of started following, like if he was to say he follows Dave Ramsey or whoever, right? And I really want to eliminate all my credit card debt. I want to become fiscally responsible. So I am going to start budgeting. And if we could just, eat in, we'll make dinner. He needs to show he's changing his whole lifestyle, right, and say, I just can't afford this. I want to pay off all my credit card debt. In other words, he's keeping it on his own side. And he's saying, I want to have a savings. I want to bring something, but I need to pay off all my credit card debt. I need to stop spending. So I just want to become frugal, and I'm wondering if you're cool with that and you'll help me do that. And she'll probably go, oh, well, I still want to go out and do stuff. Maybe I'll pay a little more. It's just a nicer way if he puts it on himself and says, I need to get rid of my credit card debt. I need to do this for myself to, become, after my divorce and all this kind of stuff. Puts it more on him. I need to do this. And hopefully she'll help him. And then if she wants to go out, she'll dig in, because her making $300,000 and him making $80,000 and him recovering from this divorce and expected to pay for everything is really not fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And what was I going to say?
Yeah, I just think they, putting it on himself and saying, hey, I need to get rid of all my credit card debt. I'm going to pay this off, but I want to eat at home. We're going to do fun stuff together at home, maybe go to a park. In other words, not saying to her, hey, will you pay for all this? But this is the way I need to behave for a while so I can catch up after my divorce.
Sounds good. And then if she doesn't want to be with him after that, then that just means she was the gold digger.
Right. If she's expecting, yeah, exactly. If she's a real tight wad penny pincher and she doesn't like to share, he needs to know that now anyway.
All right. That was relationship advice with Jineane. You got to have a conversation with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome, Jineane. Thank you so much, and we hope you have a great day.
You too, Chris.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
It is now time for Boo or Cool with Dave Ramsey, not the financial guy, just our best friend here in Sholo. Dave, it's National Pizza Party Day. Is that Boo or Cool?
Cool.
I'm going to ask you some Boo or Cool pizza toppings and pizza party behaviors, and you tell me Boo or Cool. First one, people who eat pizza with a fork.
Boo.
Totally Boo. Pizza with ranch dip.
Boo.
Boo? Oh, come on, Dave. You don't like...
Boo.
Oh, boo. Okay. People who reheat pizza in the microwave.
Cool.
What about pineapple on pizza?
Cool.
Oh, really? I would have guessed you would have been totally boo on that. Pickles?
Boo.
Anchovies?
Boo.
What about hot Cheetos?
Totally boo.
And what about mayonnaise?
Way totally boo.
That was Boo or Cool with Dave Ramsey. Love you, best friend. Hope you have a great day.
Yeah, I love you too. Enjoy your trip.
All right, will do. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.